Hey there. So it is back to the greater you today, and we are working that PERMA plus model Dr. Seligman and his colleagues put together over the years. That is a research-backed model in positive psychology looking at ways to improve well-being in people's lives. So today we're going to dive into the M, which is stands for meaning in the PERMA plus model. Of course, it's an acronym, right? So let's talk about meaning. This one's huge. Entire philosophies and books and classes have been written. Religions, there's so much that dives into people's sense of meaning and finding a sense of purpose and meaning. So there's lots of avenues to look at in this. So to develop your M, it's kind of a choose your own adventure part of the PERMA model. Here's three different ways that we've seen people dive into finding meaning. I was doing a little homework on this and making sure that we're on track with this. And, these three they've come to the surface in all of our coaching over the years that there's these three different ways that you can kind of start the baseline process of developing a sense of meaning. And you'll see that this caters to most people. If you look at all three of these, it basically, you can find yourself amongst one of these as a starting point to developing your sense of purpose and meaning. Interestingly, to give you a little history, this has been a huge part of my life coaching and even professional counseling practice over many years. Started this work many, many years ago. I read Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, and that got me interested in people finding purpose and meaning in life and through the difficulties that they go through and rising above their difficulties. Highly recommend Man's Search for Meaning, great book. And it was one of the main reasons why I decided to pursue counseling and coaching was that book. So the pursuit of meaning and purpose has been a integral part of my own journey as a professional and in helping many people over the years. So, all right, let's dive into these three ideas. So the first concept that we've seen work for people is people that are more spiritually or religious inclined, whichever path they're choosing there. There's many, many paths, right? But a lot of people feel deep down inside of themselves that their higher power has put in them or developed with them or created them for a specific purpose. There's some reason they're here that's very specific, a mission that they need to accomplish in life. So people that come from that first group of, working with this kind of higher power concept, they do a lot of introspection, study, prayer, meditation, spiritual practices that they pair up with like their coaching that they'll do with us to try and like discern out what their sense of purpose and meaning is. So, and even in that one, it's a choose your own adventure, right? That there's different belief systems and ways at getting at this, but that is a very powerful way for some people. Now, I would say that in the years of doing this work, I'm seeing less people go with option number one. Depends on the community you're in and where you're practicing as a coach, but definitely it still exists. And it's a very important concept to keep in mind when you are looking at your own sense of finding meaning. There might be some sort of spiritual connection there or higher power connection that you need to be able to understand and bring to the surface your gifts, your talents, your inclinations, and your own life purpose and mission. So in that one, you work with your higher power to divine out and decide out what your purpose is. The second one comes from a completely different standpoint. This is the, design your own adventure direction, which we've seen many, many people do this successfully. This one, you're going through exercises, which we have a ton of them in our coaching practice that we can work with you on to help you figure out what are your interests, what are your values, what are the core principles that you live by, what do you really want in life, what are your inclinations, what are your skills, what are your interests, areas of interest, where is your education, where would you like to be educated. So there's a lot of kind of this funnel technique of starting really big with a lot of wants and a lot of curiosity and a lot of interest, and then funneling that down and helping you through your own decisions decide and design your sense of meaning and purpose in life. Either one or two can lead to a boost in a person's well-being, and both are great options. Logic, reason, and desires and experiences and decisions can really drive a person towards making and creating a sense of purpose. So in the first one there, something bigger than yourself has a sense of purpose for you, and you need to connect to that and discover it. In that second one, you are the designer of your own destiny 100%, and you really want to create and design your sense of purpose and really make your life what you want it to be. So most people will find that one to be useful, and it's a great way to do it. The third one is the hybrid approach of both the first two, and we've seen people do this as well. People that come from this camp, what they do is they have a tendency to, have a connection with spirituality or a higher power, and they work in tandem there, but they also recognize that they're in charge of their lives, that this higher power has given them the ability to choose their own path. So we're back to that choose your own adventure again, right? Which really, in my opinion, life is totally a choose your own adventure journey. But in this third strategy, you're working with your higher power to kind of figure out what your wants and your skills and your passions and abilities are, and then you're kind of working with your higher power to get like a thumbs up or get like some guidance or some connectivity there that can help you tap into developing those skills and talents. So it's kind of an interesting way to look at it. That's quite powerful. Do I have a personal bias towards any of these? Probably the third approach. Myself being a highly spiritual individual, but also being a very much self-determined, self-made individual. I think that third one really meets the best of both worlds and gives people a balanced approach at developing their sense of purpose and meaning. However, any of these are great. Life is all about choice, and you get to decide for yourself which of these three baselines to start from. From these three baselines, there are so many ways to go about, figuring out what are your top 10 desires, which we help people with that. What are the core principles that you live your life by? What are your top lists of things that are most important to you? What's your bucket list look like? What does your skill set, talents, and inclinations look like? So we do a lot of work with people to help them do that. And if you're going to take this video and run with it, you've got some work to do. You got to roll up your sleeves, but come at it with a childlike curiosity, like, wow, what can I do to really create and find and discover my sense of purpose? It'll boost your happiness. The research has that in spades, that people that have a greater sense of meaning and purpose are generally happier people. They're more driven. You have a reason to get out of bed every day. The trick, once you've developed your sense of purpose, is to remind yourself regularly, and we'll do some videos in the future about that, helping you, develop your purpose, but then really staying on track with that. Because a lot of times people will get a lot of wind in their sails at the beginning of deciding and divining and creating and designing their sense of purpose. But then, we'll maybe lose our gusto a few months in. So it takes a lot of grit, perseverance, determination, and resilience to be able to keep that going, all tools that we can help you develop. So there you go. There's your three baselines to start from in developing your sense of meaning in the PERMA model. And we will talk to you again soon. Hopefully, if you have some comments, like this video if you liked it, subscribe to our channel, helps us so that we can keep making great content for you guys and help you have a greater sense of purpose in your life. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.